Hey, you guys, let's go ahead and do an ugly truth on walking away from people who continue to disrespect you or take you for granted. Listen, I'm a Virgo through and through. I've got six placements Virgo. I'm of service. In my unhealed version, I was the type of person that would always try to fix it. Why don't you like me? Here, let me give you all the reasons as to why you should like me. And after an entire lifetime of always trying to be a likable person or get people who bullied me to like me and realize that I'm not as bad as what you're making me out to be in your own mind, I got to a place in my life where I realized that certain people don't belong at a seat at your table. Okay. I, and because of that, because of setting a healthy boundary in my life, I've had so many people turn their back on me, or my family say, how dare you? Why can't you just get along with these people? And I'm like, because they disrespected me first. Or I have what's called an intuition, and I can feel when somebody is fake, or I can now feel when somebody is just blowing smoke up my ass. So, because of that, I've learned that I would rather eat alone than have somebody sit at my table that the moment that I got up and walked away would be talking shit about me, you know? And that pisses a lot of people off, because they're at a place in their life where they're willing to tolerate something that I'm not willing to tolerate. I've walked away from people for less, and I'm the first at just getting up and leaving. I don't need to tell people what they've done. They know what they've done. I don't need to have a long, drawn out conversation about how much you disrespected me or hurt my feelings, and it's not like you did it a first time or a second time or even a third time. Like I'll let a couple of them slide, but it really does depend on how big of an issue it really is. And I'll be the first to tell you, hey, I don't like that. I'll try to slide in little hints of like, hey, we could treat people better. I have been so abused in my life, and I have really come to the conclusion that I actually didn't come here to feel bad about myself. Like, that's not why I'm here on earth, where I have to tolerate less than in order to have somebody in my life. Listen, if me shining my light bright irritates you, then that's your problem, not mine, So I feel that we need to be less than understanding, as to why people do the things that they do. Some things are just an absolute no. Fuck no. I'm not dealing with this. This is stupid. And I've realized that people just get meaner and meaner, you know, and please don't forget the saying, you teach people how to treat you. You teach people how to treat you. And I've taught people, like, you're not going to get away with certain shit, I'm only going to be nice for so long. And it's almost like you're holding a grenade, right? Somebody's holding a grenade and you're the grenade. And they keep poking at you and they keep playing with the pin, right? They're playing with the pin and they've been warned that if you pull the pin, it's going to explode. There's a bomb is going to go off. And what happens is they play with the pin, they tinker with the pin, they kind of pull it out, see how far they can get. And then finally they pull that pin completely and it explodes. And then that person goes, see, I told you they were the way that they were. And it's like, you knew you had a grenade in your hand. You knew what you were doing all along. And then the moment that somebody reacts to your bad behavior, all of a sudden they're all the things that you made them out to be in your own mind. So then it just confirms and validates your feelings because you were waiting for the other shoe to drop, yet the person who had the grenade in their hand was pulling the pin the entire time. So don't be surprised, with now Pluto going direct, that people are no longer going to be tolerable of shit that they were tolerable of before. Like, I've been in relationships where I've given so much of myself, and I worked on it and I worked on it and I worked on this relationship and I did everything I could to keep the relationship going. And finally, I'm not the type of person who wants to let go of people so easily because I have abandonment issues. I was born to a mother who had mental health issues. She ended up leaving me in a car when I was 4 months old. And, I ended up in foster care, and then I was adopted at two. So I was born with these abandonment issues. So when it comes to losing people in my life, that's not something I want to experience. So if I'm walking away from an individual, you gave me every reason. You were the one who gave me the scissors to cut myself away from you. So, and I feel like what I said with Pluto being direct now, and us learning a lot of valuable lessons for since 2008, we're not going to be so tolerable. We're going to walk away. I have no problem walking away from relationships now, whether it's romantic or family or even friendships. Like, if my family can't pass go, cannot collect $200, then what makes another individual believe that they're going to be the ones who are going to treat me with complete and utter disrespect, and they're going to be safe in my life? Absolutely not. If I can cut off my family, I can cut off anyone. You're not safe. So it's not about the cutoff game. It's more about respecting yourself enough to not allow other people to walk all over you. I'm no longer here to try and fix relationships that I didn't break. you know the way I look at it is authenticity is the highest vibration, even over unconditional love. And, authentically, I am who I am, and I have a wonderful heart. And when I walk into a relationship, whether again, it's a friend or family or, a romantic partnership, I come in completely authentic to who I am. And it's going to be up to you what role I play in your life. So if you start playing games, if you start treating me like, I'm just a piece of shit, or, oh, I can take it or leave it, I'm going to pick up on that vibration, and I'm going to see you where you are. And if that's you pushing me away, I'm going to feel it. If that's you giving me backhanded compliments, I'm going to notice it. I think that we are so hypersensitive now to the way that our partners are treating us, our family is treating us, completely being taken for granted. It's not gonna fly anymore. We can't. The universe really isn't playing games with us. It will only get worse as the time goes by. You know, um, so I feel like we need to be more respectable to ourselves, and recognize when somebody feels that we can just be an option in their life and not take us seriously. So I know that there's quite a few people out there who have been in my shoes, who are in my shoes, and actually it's the majority. We put up with strangers treating us like shit on the internet. Like, why does what they say even matter? Like, you wake up in a day and you're like, I'm going to get in a fight with a stranger on the internet over a topic that really doesn't fucking matter. You're not going to change their mind by laughing, with these laughing emojis, because and now laughing emojis aren't even about something being funny anymore. It's about antagonizing other people. I feel like it was put there on purpose to be antagonistic. And please don't forget that half of the people that are commenting on your social media platform are bots. They're not even real. They're purposely put there to create an argument, to keep you entertained into a conversation that you should probably just turn a blind eye to, delete it, and move the fuck on. Okay? Like, it's really that simple. So if you can allow somebody to control you with words, you're going to be easily manipulated. I've had people, my family in my life, tell me I'm toxic and I'm a bad person because I speak truth. Nobody likes the truth. Everybody wants this watered down version that just like pacifies whatever it is that they're feeling in their life. And unfortunately, I'm not your yes man. I'm not somebody who's going to come in and tell you that the sky is red just because you believe that it's red. No, it's fucking blue. I don't care what you say, it's blue. you know And because of that, you'll get bullied and they'll laugh at you. And again, it goes back to like walking away from the conversation. Is it even that important anymore? And I know with people with family, it's really hard to say, goodbye to somebody that you truly love. But what you're doing is saying hello to a new version of yourself. Because if you just continue to sit in that, like I see people all the time that are like, well, I just don't want to engage, or I don't want to, poke the bear or whatever. Yet this person is attacking them, but they're like, I don't want to do anything because I'm afraid of what they might do. Well, they're going to do it anyway, whether you say something or you don't. But if whatever you're doing isn't getting them to stop, then you need to do the opposite. Then you need to say something, because either way, they're going to be mean and bully you anyway. So what does it even fucking matter? And please remember, for those of you parents out there who are bullies, or, you're teaching your kids how to treat other people. And there's a lot more suicide with these teenagers and even small young kids anymore because they're bullied for the way that they look. People can't help the way that they were born. They can't help what's in their DNA. They can't help with, how they came into this universe. They got what they got and they can't change that. So what? It's almost like that movie, The Uglies, right? Unless if you want to be, you know, uh, accepted by society, then you need to go and change something about yourself. Guess what? There's not enough CoverGirl or Maybelline in the world that's going to make you pretty if you're just an ugly person. So keep that in mind, because you're teaching your kids how to act and respond. And if you are one of those passive aggressive individuals who, when people treat you like shit, you just cower your head and, well, that's just who they are. No, you have to stop doing that, because you're teaching your kids to do that too. I remember when I was a little kid and I would say something, or, I remember going into my aunt's house. We had just gotten to Nebraska and they were smoking. I mean, oh God, it was so freaking terrible. The house was like, everything had a film of smoke and just yuck all over it. And I remember going into the kitchen. I needed a drink of water. It was late at night. We had just rolled in and I wanted a drink of water. And I remember pulling a cup out of the cabinet and it had a film over the top of it of all the smoke from them smoking in the house. And I remember um like trying to rinse out the glass, but you couldn't get the yuck off. So instead of putting my lips to it, I remember just kind of fountaining it into my mouth. And my mom walked in and I remember her just knocking the absolute shit out of me, because how dare I offend, someone. And I'm thinking, but the cleanliness and my health is less important, and beating me is more important to save somebody else's feelings because they're gross. Like, really, I mean, think about that. And so my mom used to do that shit all the time. You shut your mouth and you deal with it. I remember, being in an abusive relationship, and my mom gave me the advice of, you shut your mouth and you deal with it. He makes money. And thank God I didn't take her advice, because I'd probably be dead right now. In fact, I know I would have been, you know? And so it's programming. A lot of it is programming since childhood. And because Pluto and Capricorn is our old traditional ways. And in 1982-83, we had a grand triple conjunction of Saturn, Pluto, and Mars. They're like the three amigos. And it was in Libra. Libra is all about relationships, partnerships, one-on-ones, BFFs, roommates, people that you spend the most of your one-on-one time with. So from 1982-83 all the way up until 2020, we've been putting up with less than what we deserve. We've been putting up with people treating us terribly. And then when we finally stand our ground and say, absolutely not, no fucking more, all of a sudden we're the bad guy. All of a sudden we're the person that everybody needs to question, and everybody's talking shit, but they're not telling their side of the story or what they did. They're not telling you what got to this point of this person finally saying enough is enough and walking away. Oh, hell no. They're only going to tell the story that makes you look bad. So keep that in mind, you guys, as we move forward with this energy. And now that we are coming into Pluto and Aquarius, this is about the people. We've been turned against everybody. It's dog eat dog. It's, all about me and selfishness and how I can get everything from everyone else. But God forbid we help anybody else out in the process, without trying to get something out of it. Well, Aquarius is humanitarianism, it's about the people and how can we treat people kinder? How can we, be nice to not only them, but ourselves? Take back our power from people who don't deserve a seat at your table. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, like this is kind of like it's a no-brainer, if your partner is treating you like they could take you or leave you, then let them go. If your family, believes that you don't deserve a role at their table, that's okay. You can go out and make your own damn family, because that's what people are going to do now. It's, the days of family tradition and putting up with toxic family is over. you know, we are way too overqualified. A lot of us are way too overqualified to put up with less than what we deserve. And that goes for a job too. If your boss or your employees are constantly treating you like shit, what the fuck are you doing there? Oh, it pays the bills. Nah, there are plenty of other jobs out there that will pay the bills where you don't have to go in and feel bad about yourself. I remember going to a job one time. Oh my God. I remember crying all the way there because, and I was so sick to my stomach all day before I had to go into work, and I would have to go in sometimes between 3 and 5. And I remember just, oh, my stomach hurt so bad. And I was just ill all day. And then I was crying, and I remember driving to work and trying to get it together. And then as soon as I got into the parking lot, and I was like, okay, dry your tears, take a deep breath, put on this happy face and go in. And I knew that the moment that I showed my face, I was going to get ripped to shreds by my boss. And it wasn't because I wasn't doing my job. Actually, believe it or not, it was because everybody freaking liked me. And you would think that she would have been happy that I was working for her establishment, but instead she went out of her way to abuse me. And then she ended up firing me drunk. So, I never went back. Like, it's over. But it took them, the universe kind of pulling the rug right out from underneath me and her doing what she did. Of course, at first we want to blame them, but at the end of the day, you're the common denominator. And if I would have just saw it for what it is and realized that this woman was an abusive troll, and taken back my power and been like, no, I value myself. I'm more valuable than being treated like shit. Like, I'm paying your bills. You're barely paying mine. Like, you're making thousands upon thousands of dollars. I'm making a few pennies off of that. So, they were a lot of lessons that I had to learn as I grew. And now at 45 years old, I have zero fucking tolerance for people who treat me like I'm just an option. I'm not an option. I'm the choice. And if you don't choose me, I'm not even going to be mad about it. I'm just going to get up and walk away and choose people who choose me. I love you guys all so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Hopefully some of that made sense to you guys. Take it for what it's worth, and just know that I love you guys all so very much. And if you would like, you can follow me over on Facebook or Instagram under the Footsteps to Peace and Peace Unhinged Tarot. I love you guys. Take care.